Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of a place called Pinara? Probably not, right? Well, in the ancient Lycian language, the name means round. And believe it or not, this was one of the most powerful cities of its time. So why is it just a blank for most of us?
Right? I mean, if it was such a big deal, how did it just disappear from the history books? We're talking about a place so forgotten that even folks living right down the road might not know its name. And that's the real puzzle we're going to dig into today.
Because the answer, you see, isn't in a library. It's right here, tucked away, almost swallowed by the rugged mountains of what is now Turkey. Welcome to Pinara.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. To really get a handle on Pinara, we have to figure out why it fell off the map in the first place. Turns out, the very things that made it powerful also made it easy to forget.
First up, it's all about location, location, location. Pinara is perched on these incredibly steep slopes of a mountain the ancients called Mount Kragos. And I'm not kidding, the road to get there even today is, well, it's an adventure. It's seriously treacherous. And that leads directly to the second reason. No one's ever really dug it up. Because it's so ridiculously hard to get to, it's never had a proper professional excavation. Everything we're looking at today is just what's managed to hang on through centuries of weather and earthquakes.
But oh man, what has survived? It's just stunning. And it gives us our single biggest clue about how important this place was. We're talking about the city's necropolis, its city of the dead. Imagine you're walking up to the site. The first thing that hits you is this massive cliff face, and it's just honeycombed. It's riddled with these rectangular holes, hundreds of them, maybe even thousands. Every single one is a tomb, carved straight into the stone. It's a view you will not forget, and honestly, it's a little bit haunting. And get this, archaeologists say Pinara isn't just a necropolis. It's like a complete catalog of the Lycian afterlife. Every single type of tomb they ever made, it's here. You've got your simple, basic holes cut in the rock. You've got these huge freestanding sarcophagi just sitting there. And then you've got these jaw-droppingly grand tombs that look like miniature Greek temples. It's literally a one-stop shop for understanding Lycian burial customs.
So, you're standing there, looking up at all this, and the one question that just screams at you is, how? Seriously, how in the world did they carve these things into sheer cliffs? Some of these spots look impossible to get to now with modern equipment. How did they pull that off?
And this is where the story gets really interesting, because it highlights the big puzzle of Pinara. There's this local legend, right? It says the city was founded by a bunch of old guys from the nearby city of Xanthos because it was getting too crowded. But just think about that for a second. It makes no sense. How is a group of senior citizens going to have the muscle and the engineering know-how to build something this massive in a place this difficult? It's a real head-scratcher.
Yeah, the tombs are asking a question that the local myth just can't answer. So if we want to find out the real story of Pinara's rise to power, we've got to look at the history books.
And what we can piece together is pretty wild. We know it was run by the Kyrians for a while, and then, get this, when Alexander the Great shows up, they just surrender. No fight. Smart move, maybe. After that, it really hits its stride as a key member of this cool democratic league. Then, like pretty much everywhere else, it eventually gets swallowed up by the Roman Empire. But the story ends with a series of massive earthquakes, and by the 8th century AD, the city is empty. Okay, so I just mentioned the Lycian League, and we need to talk about that for a second. This was a really forward-thinking idea for its time. You can kind of think of it as an ancient United Nations for that whole area. Basically, cities in the league got 1, 2, or 3 votes, all depending on how big and important they were.
So, here's the million-dollar question. How many votes did Pinara get? 3, the absolute maximum. Only 6 cities in the entire league had 3 votes, and Pinara was one of them. So let's be clear, this was not some sleepy retirement village for old guys from Xanthos. This place was a regional superpower, period.
Okay, so we've established it was a powerhouse. We've seen the incredible tombs. So what else can you actually see there today? Come on, let's take a little walk through what's left.
All right, aside from the tombs, which are everywhere, the big showstopper is the theater. It's in amazing shape, really, and could hold about 3,500 people. But the rest of the city's main hub, the marketplace, the Roman baths, even a later church is still buried. It's all hidden under layers of dirt and a ton of plants.
But as you wander around, you can totally see hints of how grand it was. You'll spot bits of the old city walls, you can trace the line of a main street that used to have columns, and there's an acropolis way up high. And there are these cool little details too, like the bases of some columns are carved into a heart shape. It just screams that there's a whole magnificent city just waiting to be uncovered.
And that's what's so exciting about Pinara's future. You know, the very thing that made it forgotten, the fact that nobody's ever dug it up, well, that's now its biggest asset.
I mean, really think about it. So many other famous ancient sites have been excavated for centuries, sometimes clumsily, and things get lost or contaminated. But Pinara? It's a pristine, almost perfectly preserved time capsule. The lid was shut in the 8th century and it's just been sitting there, waiting for someone to open it.
Of course, opening that time capsule is a whole other story. The very same issues that kept it a secret are now the biggest hurdles to revealing it. Getting a full archaeological team up there with all their gear and supplies, we're talking crazy expensive logistics. A dig this big would need years and years of serious funding.
And so, for now, Pinara just waits. Its cliffs are like a library of its dead, and the ground beneath holds the stories of how they lived. It leaves us with this one final nagging question. What else is down there? What incredible stories of power, life, and myth are still buried, waiting for us to find them?